Today's story of the day is the Chiefs playoff picture heading into week 17. This is Locked On Chiefs. All right, so when you start looking at the playoff picture when it comes to Kansas City, right now they are the 3 seed. You think that they're probably going to stay the 3 seed because more than likely New England is going to win against Miami, which means they cannot move up.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the expectation. There's always a stray chance, there's always something in the NFL that surprises you. And quite frankly, Miami has been one of those teams that surprised me a couple of times this season. So I can't say that it's nothing, that there's no chance, but likelihood, I can't see it happening. So you're looking at the Chiefs being the 3, and that makes the matchup troublesome in my mind. But how do you feel about if it stood right now, if nothing changes, the Tennessee Titans are coming to Arrowhead?
I think it could be troublesome, but I think we also need to go the other direction real quick. I believe Kansas City wins against Los Angeles. I did it again. But I do think that it is – I mean, if they lose, they could drop to the 4 seed. And that's a big thing because it just came out actually Bill O'Brien said that the Texans plan on trying to win this game on Sunday. They do not plan on resting their starters. I have a really hard time believing that, especially if Kansas City wins early. But if they're trying to win the game, I think that completely changes for the Tennessee Titans. What happens?
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, this is going to be a pretty profound change depending on, you can't count on teams resting their top players, but it happens all the time. If it doesn't, then it becomes a dogfight in week 17.
Yeah, and that's a big question because you start looking at the playoff scenarios for all the different teams. At this point, Baltimore is locked down the 1st seed. So we know that's going to be the case. New England, if they lose, they go down to number 3. Kansas City would be number 2. They would get the first round bye. You would love that. One of the other questions that would really hit me as a big question going into this weekend is, what does Baltimore do? They've already locked down the 1 seed. Are you really going to rest your starters and take a chance at them not playing for 3 weeks?
I don't know. I'd be tempted to tell you the truth. I don't know how banged up they are. Particularly my concern, if I am John Harbaugh, sorry, which brother am I talking about? My concern personally would be anything that I can save hits on Lamar, I'm going to do it. So I would probably sit him knowing that they have everything locked up. They can't change their positioning. I would just keep him from getting hit myself.
No, and I get that completely, but are you going to do that to the rest of your team? Are you going to try to take out as many of your high guys as you possibly can, or your more important guys as you can? And I get the thought of wanting to do that, and I get the ability to do that would be great for Baltimore. But my biggest concern as a coach would be, are they going to come out rusty after basically 3 weeks off? So I think that's a big concern. And then you start looking at, who's the 4, who's the 5, who's the 6 seed. Obviously, if Kansas City wins, the Texans stay at 4. If New England wins, Kansas City stays at 3. The 5 seed is going to be the Buffalo Bills. They can't move. And then you're looking at the 6 seed. Is it going to be Tennessee? If they win, it could be, or it will be. If Pittsburgh wins and Tennessee loses, it could be Pittsburgh. It could even be the Oakland Raiders.
Don't say that. It would take the Steelers losing, the Titans losing. What else would it take? The Cowboys losing.
The Colts beating the Jaguars too.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I would find that miraculous, and quite frankly, sure, bring it on. If Old Groot gets in 6, that means he comes to Kansas City.
Yeah, but what I do have to say, and it's kind of funny to me, you sit here and you look at it, the Raiders had like less than a 1% chance of making the playoffs headed into week 15, and everything happened right. 6 different things had to happen in week 16 for them to have a chance, and all 6 of them happened.
That's pretty impressive. I won't say that there's not a rabbit's foot under John Gruden's pillow, but you need like 6 more if you're going to get through the wild card, not just to the wild card.
Right. And I will agree with you, though. It is concerning bringing Tennessee to Kansas City, considering Kansas City lost earlier in the season to them, but they were still missing some players that I think really would change that game for Kansas City.
Yeah. And I'll tell you that was the infamous decision to sit Mike Pennel. And we've seen that they've learned from their ways, and Reggie and Pennel in particular need to be out there versus run-heavy teams. So I think they have that locked down. I think they understand what they're doing. And the way that the defense has come together, not necessarily around the run, but just in general, I do feel like this is a much better matchup at this point. You just can't discount the Titans. So we're going to get deeper into what's going where and who played well, needs to improve, what the case may be this Christmas week when we get back from this break.